Hey, this is Dr. McClung's quick and easy guide to this sort of beginning timpani stroke practice. Not all of us have access to drums right now, so this is going to be on a practice pad. I find to simulate the timpani experience, a nice sort of heavy snare drum stick on a real feel or equivalent pad works pretty great. This is the Vic Firth Ted Atcat's line, and this is my pad. And while I can't have access to timps, this keeps me going pretty well. So if you're just starting and you want a good place to start for a general timpani stroke, step one is just let it fall. You're going to let it fall. Maybe keep one finger underneath the stick, but let gravity just kind of take over. You can do that with either hand. Just get out of the stick's way, let it fall, and bounce back up after it hits. Okay? Do that for 30 seconds or 10 minutes or an hour, as long as it takes to feel comfortable. It should fall straight down from the sky. To start, I keep one finger underneath. Eventually, I will keep more fingers on the shaft of the stick, simulating a very loose version of my grip, but still trying to keep gravity in charge and just letting it fall and hit. Okay? After a while, you'll let it fall and then bring it back up to this sort of ready position. Fall and come back up. Again, stay out of the stick's way on the way down. Should just be gravity handling it. Very loose grip. Okay? After you get comfortable with this, you want to simulate gravity, but without quite all this distance. You don't always have time. You almost never have time to strike it purely with gravity. So lower things a little bit and add your own propulsion. But really you want to simulate that feeling of letting it fall. You're just a little closer. I'm going to close up the grip just a little bit, not quite as loose. So instead of just dropping it, I'm throwing it just a little bit. This is what it looks like from the side. So starting off with the fall, with the whole grip, and eventually lowering it down. Like so, keeping that path vertical. So for a grip, I keep my thumbs on top. Different people have different grips. We have a word for people whose grip is different than this thumb on top. Morons. Sorry. Just troglodytes. People undeserving of love or happiness in any way. Just kidding. But for me, thumbs on top, fingers curled loosely around the shaft, nice and gentle, not too tight, not out near the tips, but curled in. I do pull my fingers out just a little bit on the backstroke, not way out, but there's a little bit of a squeeze in the stroke. So you can see that space opening up just a little bit here and then closing as the stick comes down. Again, you don't want a full whip stroke in general, but let a little space open up and let your fingers come out. Okay. I also keep my wrist turning. A lot of propulsion comes from the wrist. Again, this is a general timpani stroke. If you have trouble with a vertical path and you start seeing yourself hitting the pad diagonally, go back to this. One nice thing about gravity, it's predictably vertical. Okay? There are some adjustments you can make to this general stroke. You can move your fulcrum backward and forward. Right now I'm sort of in a wristy place. You could move forward so it's here, move it to the back of the wrist, start putting your elbow in so that your fulcrum is back here. But I'm keeping mine in sort of a generally neutral place. Little finger, mostly wrist. You can also change the grip a little bit in terms of tightness of the grip. You can squeeze it pretty tight. You can keep it extremely loose, like we were at the beginning. I'm somewhere in the middle. Okay, I keep a firm hand on it, but I still like to keep it loose and relaxed. Also adjustments in terms of angle of attack. Generally speaking, I'm right about here, but for instance for a roll I might lift versus here versus absolutely keeping the stick horizontal, just above horizontal as it strikes the pad. Yeah, you're almost hitting rim shots down there. So those are different shifts you can make in what you're doing to kind of change the color. And then once you kind of narrow in on a good solid stroke, your warm-up usually starts off 8 on a hand, keep things nice and loose, nice and vertical, and predictable and accurate. That's good. And make sure you work on this, because if you can't do this, what are you doing? Just why are you even, what are you doing? Have fun. Good luck.